Great job, Dame. Great. Well, that's Bobby Ports, but great job, Dame. Great job at getting back at Hallie, man. You know, you did a great job. You did a great job getting back at him, man. Just an amazing. Let me lock it. Anyway, yes, it's late. You know, if you had school, how would you feel? I don't know what that was. But the Pacers take game 2. They are up 2-0 in the series, and it is looking, in this possible situation at least, that this might be a quick. However, we are going back to Milwaukee on Friday. This, ironically, the second day of the draft. I remember last year watching a draft and watching a Pacers game, and, you know, the Colts were being stupid and trading down and not drafting Adonai Mitchell, and then the Pacers choked and went to overtime, and then they drafted him. The Colts drafted Adonai Mitchell anyway, even though they traded down, and then Hallie hit the walk-off 2-1. That was the biggest mood switch of all time. In about 5-10 minutes, but you know, this year might not be as big, considering the Pacers are already up 2 games. If they win one more game, obviously the series is over, because no team has ever came back down 3-0. There's a stat that I will not bring much credit towards because it could sell us, but the Pacers have not lost a series when they are up 2-0 in their history. They're like 11-0. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to add anything towards that. However, the Pacers are in a good position. We'll put it as that. They win 123-115, leading in the first and the third quarters in scoring with 40 total points in the first quarter. I know that broke something. I don't know what it was, but it broke something. You can check the Pacers Twitter or X, whatever it is. You can check that, but the Bucks also did not shy away with 30, and then the Bucks scored another 30. We scored 28 to less. However, we went into the half with an 8-point lead. Our largest lead was 16 in the third quarter at 9 minutes and 33 seconds, and the Bucks had absolutely no leads. There were 0 lead changes. The game was never tied basically since the beginning of the game, but we did mess up a bit. Like, you can see in the middle of the second quarter, we're up by like 15, and then we put it down to 8. That fourth quarter got really scary, considering Mr. Lillard hit one of his only threes of the entire game and made it a 2-point game. And then my boy Pascal Siakam hits him back with a 27-foot 3. Hallie gets blocked by Giannis after, I believe, someone missed on the Bucks. And then Nembhard hits the dagger. My GOAT Nembhard, he's just too good. Kuzma had stats. We'll get to that soon. But that's good for him. But in the fourth quarter, it got a little scary. It really did. However, we locked in, got it done, and we're up 2-0. Back to the box score. In the third, we led by 4 points, and that was negated by the Bucks. In the fourth, however, that doesn't really matter at that point, because they would have been down by 12 points. They would have down by 12 points. So they would have needed the 12-point advantage, obviously, and they did not get that. Unfortunate for them. If you look at the differential, all Pacers blue, no Bucks green, except for the little logo. Again, sometimes when it got choppy, we held it down and everything was okay. That is the total shot chart. There are the misses. There are the makes. By the looks of it, it looks like they shot more center threes. We shot a bunch of threes everywhere. So, for total runs, the Pacers had a 15-4 run between the 7-minute and the second in the first quarter to 4 minutes and 43 seconds in the first quarter. Then they had another run, a 14-2 run at 59.4 in the second quarter to 9 minutes and 33 of the third quarter, where we had our largest lead of the game at 16. And the Bucks had a really dangerous 18-5 run between 6:52 of the fourth quarter and 2:33 of the fourth quarter. So we almost sold the entire game in 4 minutes, which is not good. For the best player streaks, Giannis, obviously what you would expect. He had 6 in the first quarter, 6-0-8. Miles Turner had the best Pacers streak with 5 at 10 minutes and 6 seconds. If we look at the momentum, the first quarter was dominated by the Pacers. But let's be honest, all the other quarters were dominated by the Bucks, especially that fourth quarter. The momentum swung hard for them that quarter. But in all these quarters, it looks like the Bucks had more momentum, so it's lucky that we could have held them off for the head-to-head. We made the same amount of shots. However, the Pacers did miss 3 more shots, so they did have a better field goal percentage. We did have a better 3 field goal percentage, though. We had a 44.4% with 16 of 36, while the Bucks had a 14 of 35. Along with free throws, you're going to see a lot of people blame the refs in this game because they're Bucks fans. All they can do is cope. However, the Pacers shot a perfect 100. Perfect 19 and 19 on free throws, while the Bucks, with Giannis, who is not that good at free throws, let's be honest, not necessarily he, but they went 13 and 19 for a 68.4 percentage. The Bucks turned over the ball 15 times, while the Pacers only turned over the ball 8 times. However, the Bucks had 43 more rebounds and dominated the offensive board 12-7, with even defensive rebounds on both sides, 31 each. Rebounds total 43-38. But assists, the Pacers had 4 more, 30-26. The Bucks had 3 blocks. No, the Bucks had 6 blocks. The Pacers had 3. The Pacers with less or more turnovers gained got more points off of turnovers, 15-5. And the Bucks only had 2 more points in the paint, 48-46. Fast break points, Bucks led with 9. We had 4. And second chance points, obviously, because the Bucks dominated the offensive board, are going to lead, but they did not lead as much as you would think. They only led 15-13, with the Pacers getting 8 steals, while the Bucks only had 3. Both teams had 19 fouls. That's the Lakers game. On to the Pacers. Best performer, Mr. Overrated himself, Tyrese Halliburton. They was calling him overrated, and then he came out and cooked the Bucks. That's all I'm going to say. He had 21 points, 5 rebounds, 12 assists, no steals, and no blocks, with a 42.1% field goal percentage at an 8-19, with a not-so-good 3 for 10, 3 field goal range, perfect 2 for 2 free throws, 3 turnovers, only 1 foul, with an offensive rebound, 2, on 35 minutes. So it was a great day for Halliburton. He proved, people just hate him because they hate him, honestly. And this doesn't prove anything to them, but he at least silenced the haters. So we're gonna stay with that. Pascal Siakam, our second best player, he had 3.9 real ranking. The Halliburton had 4.4. That's just how Real does this. Siakam had 24 points and 11 rebounds with 3 assists, 3 steals on a +8. Even 50 field goal percentage, 8 for 16, 2 for 5 from 3, 6 for 6 free throws, 2 turnovers, 4 fouls, and 2 boards on the offensive side, 9 on the defense, on 34 minutes. So another good day for Siakam. If I had to say, he'd be the MVP so far, because Siakam had a pretty good game that 4 days ago too. Nemhard, my boy, he locked in. He got 17 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, no steals, no blocks on a plus 10, plus minus, with a 60% field goal percentage. 6 for 10 free throws. Well, 2 for 2 free throws, but 6 for 10 on the field goals with 3 for 5 from 3. 1 turnover, 3 fouls on 34 minutes. Miles Turner, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks on a plus 7, plus minus. 60% field goal percentage on a 6 for 10. Ironically, just like Nemhard. 1 for 3 though. 2 for 2 for throws, obviously. No turnovers, but 3 fouls. And then Naismith. Turner was on 33 minutes, but Naismith, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, plus 10 of plus minus, on a 55.6 field goal percentage, shooting 5 for 9, and a really good 4 for 5 from 3, and 2 for 2 free throws, with 1 turnover, 4 fouls on 31 minutes. And then these are the guys that came in. I guess the best 6-man was TJ McConnell with 6 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and no blocks. Mathurin had 14 points, good for him. Toppin with 7. Walker came in and he hit a 3. Bryant, he had 8 minutes. He was there, and then everyone else didn't play. Gotta give the GOAT to first. On the Bucks side, Giannis, obviously the main character, the star, the only good guy on the Bucks other than Bobby Portis and Dame in hypothetical scenarios against the Pacers. But Giannis played 40 minutes, so he stayed on the court for a while with 34 points, 18 rebounds, almost 30-20 game, 7 assists, 0 steals, but 1 block on a minus 11 plus minus, however. But he had a 70 field goal percentage on a 14 to 20 shot percentage with no threes. He was 6 for 10 on free throws with 4 turnovers, 2 fouls, and 7 offensive rebounds, along with 11 defensive ones. May as well go over Portis because he had the legacy. Well, I don't know what that word is, but he had the legacy game to end all legacy games. On 32 minutes, he had 28 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist, no steals, 1 blocks on a +1, plus minus, 57.9% field goal percentage, shooting 11 for 19, and 6 for 11 from 3. He missed a free throw, but we'll cut him some slack for that. He had 2 fouls and an offensive rebound, along with 11 defensive ones. If we look back, tell me one time you see a 28-point game. There's a 26. There's a 20. He had a 34, but that's against the Washington Wizards. So I don't know about counting that. I mean, this man, he's good, but he's not this good. So we survived the Bobby Portis legacy game. Therefore, we're winning this series. And may as well go over this bum Dame. You know, he was talking like he was going to knock out Hallie in 1 hit. And then he comes out here and does this. And of course, all the Bucks fans were like, oh yeah, once Dame comes back, he's gonna put 75 billion points on their heads. And then he comes back and does 4 for 13, 2 for 8 from 3. He did have a clutch 3 to be fair, but that was at the end of the game. On a 30.8 field goal percentage. And then instead of admitting that he's not saving their team, they're saying, oh well, he was injured. He was injured. So, like, come on. Let's be honest. The Pacers just own him. The Pacers are just the better team. You gotta accept defeat sometime. And Lillard, after talking all that, he did not back up the top. With 37 minutes on the court, he only gave 14 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, which is alright, on a -7, plus minus. Again, 4 for 13 from the field goal, 2 for 8 from 3. He was good on free throws with 2 turnovers and 4 fouls. Great job, Lillard. Just Lopez, they use there. Kuzma, after putting up straight nothing for 28 minutes, because he was in here for 22, and then 8 minutes when he was in this game, he ain't do nothing. He got 12 points, so gotta clap it up for him. He doesn't normally do this. He usually scores no point. No, he doesn't usually score no points. He's good. This dude, Prince, I don't know why he started. If he even started, I don't remember who started. This guy is not that good. This dude, Darvin Ham, keeps putting in Sims for Giannis. At this point, you just got to keep Giannis out 48 minutes. You got to keep him out 48 minutes. Forget if he gets tired. He has halftime. He has the timeouts. He can get the rest he needs. He can get the rest he needs. You don't need to play. You don't need to play. Other than that, Game 3 is in Milwaukee. I honestly would not be surprised if we lost, and I would not complain if we lost. But it's Friday at 8. It's Friday, so I'll at least have the video recorded, but it will not go up until Saturday. Anyway, I'll see you guys. NFL draft tomorrow. The Blues also play tomorrow, so that's nice. But that'll be all for today. I'll see you guys later, and peace.